Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for May 24th, 2020 from Joshua chapter 9, Deception. How many times do you receive phone calls or emails from people who are trying to deceive you? Unfortunately, I receive a lot more than I want. But deception is not anything new. And it's not something that today's world has invented nor perfected. Even during the time of Joshua, there was deception. Yes, Joshua had to deal with Achan, but you may remember that it was God who pointed out Achan because the deception was hidden to man. Even Joshua used deception later to destroy the city of Ai. Keep this in mind as we take a look at chapter 9. The people of the land started to gather as one people to attack the people of Israel, except for one people group. The people of the land of Gibeon knew that God had given the land to Israel. So their choice was either to leave, which they didn't want to do, or join and fight against God, which, if you think about it, who really wants to fight against God? You know you're going to lose. So one group, Gibeon, decided to do something a little bit different. Verse 3, but when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and to Ai, they on their part acted with cunning and went and made ready provisions and took worn-out sacks for their donkeys and wineskins, worn out and torn and mended, with worn out and patched sandals on their feet and worn out clothes, and all their provisions were dry and crumbling. Why? Well, they wanted to make it seem that they were from a distant country, and then they were going to try to be friends with Joshua. Sure, the people of Israel were going to be skeptical about their story. Now the bread and the wineskins were old. How would you know? It seemed like, from what the people of Israel saw, they were traveling a great deal of distance. And so they couldn't be just around the corner, could they? Besides, the rest of the land was preparing for a large battle to fight against them. They would need as many friends as possible, right? Wrong. They didn't need friends. Nothing wrong with friends. They needed God. It was God's land, and God was going to give it to them. Remember Achan? They didn't know until God pointed it out to them. Let's pick it up with verse 14. So the people of Israel took some of their provisions, but did not ask counsel from the Lord. And Joshua made peace with them and made a covenant with them to let them live. And the leaders of the congregation swore to them, oops. And that was a big oops. They did not seek counsel from the Lord. Verse 19, but all the leaders said to all the congregation, we have sworn to them by the Lord, the God of Israel, and now we may not touch them. This we will do to them. Let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath that we swore to them. They wanted to keep their oath. They weren't going to go back on their oath just because the other people lied. But Joshua did confront the leaders from Gibeon about their deception. And their response? Verse 24. They answered Joshua, because it was told to your servants for a certainty that the Lord your God had commanded his servant Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. So we feared greatly for our lives because of you and did this thing. They knew God had given them the land. They knew that they would die fighting against God. So the only option they could think of was to deceive Joshua into making a promise with them to let them live. They were to become slaves to the people of Israel, but live. Would we shout, give me liberty or give me death? Or would we be willing to become slaves? As you think about that question, I want you to consider what the psalmist says in Psalm chapter 84, verse 10. For a day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wickedness. Yes, we are servants of God Almighty. Join me again tomorrow as we hear how the battle continues. God's peace and many blessings be with you. Thank you for watching, and please share this video with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for watching.